I'm Mike Writer, and today we'll be talking about Star Trek Online, and we talk about the small sets, and this one is the Entoiled Technology Set, or the Nausicaan Disruptor Set, as quite a lot of people call it, which is from the Echoes of Light mission. Now, first of all, I always recommend that you should like, comment, and subscribe. But anyway, as this is a some of it of the now this mission requires you to replay the mission about 3 times to collect all the rewards, and like many other missions, each part of the rewards were launched each week, in addition to a bonus reward that was available for that week. Many of these 3-week events for these story missions features the enhanced universal tech upgrade or one specialization point reward for completing it for that week. We also learned how to get through the episode as fast as possible or speedrun it. Now, like most other things, there's a lot of talk about the Nausicaan energy net, or the disruptor net, within the stat pages of this set. Now, this is actually referring to a bonus hold that is built into the weapons of this set. I have, during some limited testing, I have seen it working. However, due to the nature of the high-end builds that I usually use, when this usually helps get into, this hold barely has time to set in before the ship is destroyed. So, let's move on to our first piece of our 3-piece set, and that is the console, the science console, particularly the Nausicaan siphon capacitor. Now, this gives between 31.5 to 41.3 static drain expertise. And this basically improves out energy and shield drains and resistance the same. And to help out with the shield drain, you can get increased power weight transfer, which is 26.7% to 35% power transfer rate increase, which is usually get. And then you get the 20 to 26.3 disrupted damage into all that. Now, power transfer rate is usually found on a engineering console, and the disrupted damage is almost exclusive to the tactical console slot. So having these two in the science slot is quite often considered pretty brilliant for for many people who want to use power transfer rates and disruptor damage on the same build. Next up is the first weapon of the set, and that is the Nausicaan Disruptor Beam Array. Now, this produces disruptor energy damage, and this is a standard beam array. It does 250 degree targeting arc, and does disruptor damage, and because these numbers vary a lot based on your weapon power and various other settings of your ship, the numbers have been been limited here. They, like most other energy weapons, this knocks out 10 power when firing with other weapons. However, unlike most other disruptor weapons, it has a 2.5% chance for a hold for 5 seconds. On this hold, you'll gain some disrupted damage per second for 5 seconds with the Nausicaan Weaponry Augmentation Set bonus, which you'll find out about a bit more in a little while. To the target, you'll knock out two all subsystem power, and yourself will gain 2 power to each of your subsystem powers. So that means you get slightly faster, slightly stronger, and to your target you also get a damage resistance drop for 15 seconds, which it does mean that you do slightly more damage for those 15 seconds. As your standard, and as your disruptor, you also get 4% crit chance bonus, and it's all on a 1 second recharge. Now, if you prefer to use torpedoes, there is a unique one coming up with the Nausicaan Energy Torpedo Launcher. Now, whilst it's just disrupt damage and fires in a 90-degree arc, it's just disrupt damage, not any type of kinetic damage as such. As with most torpedoes, it has a 20% chance to do an effect. This time it's a hold for 5 seconds and does the exact same. Does a disrupted damage for 5 seconds with the Nausicaan Weaponry Augmentation Set bonus. This also does 10 all damage resist, knocks out 10% all damage resistance for 10 seconds up against your target, and has 40% critical severity when you get a crit, so it makes your crit stronger. But this weapon has a 12-second recharge, which means that it's not particularly fast firing for a torpedo. But this is a set, you get set bonuses. Now, your 2 set bonuses is the Nausicaan Weaponry Augmentation, which you heard me talking about a few times. This creates a disruptor net around a certain target, which does some disruptor damage for every second for 5 seconds. That's in addition to the normal effects of each weapon that uses it. This bonus damage I found is particularly low and not particularly worth going for. However, the 3-set bonus is the Nausicaan Power Initiative. This gives you 26.6 disruptive damage for having it, and additional hull penetration, which means that you can, when you hit, it hits a bit harder. Now the big question is, who is it for? Now, I find this set is great for almost all beam-based disruptor builds. The Science Console disruptor bonus is about half disruptor tactical console's worth of damage, but it's not sitting in a tactical slot. It's sitting in a Science Console slot. So some builds where you are basically put anything you like in a science slot. This is a very nice thing to have in that slot. The energy torpedoes. The Disruptor Energy Torpedo offers some viable torpedo damage without really needing to focus on getting some kinetic damage. I like to compare this set to the Quantum Phase Catalyst sets from Sunrise, but that the quantum phase catalysts are phaser based. But but I like to give an option or two. Is this set good? Is a big one. As far as I can tell, it's one of the best sets in the game for disruptor weapons. For a long while, I've heard it being used in endgame builds, especially when disruptor was actually considered one of the best things in the game, and this mostly due to the fact that the 20 to 26% disruptor damage increase is very, from a non-tactical slot, is very nice to have, and that's not even counting the 26.6% bonus for getting the 3p bonus. Now, is this the only set I would use for Disruptor? No, there is another set coming up in quite a few episodes, which involves them. I would consider looking at. So wait until the House Martok if you want to find out more about that set. So, it's been Mike Shack Writer. See you guys next time.